The intensive care unit at Sydney Children's Hospital provides care for critically ill children. 25% of the admissions are as a result of surgery, whether that's cardiac or neurosurgery. The other 75% are emergency admissions. So the ICU exists so that these critically ill children can stay stable and alive while their treatment plans actually put them on the road to recovery. Every child deserves the very best medical care available. And with the support of partnerships, the hospital is able to ensure that each child, whose life sometimes is hanging by a thread, gets the very best chance at survival.
Sal and Parker have been incredible supporters of the Children's Intensive Care Unit. They've been in partnership with the Foundation and ourselves since 2003, and in that time they've donated over $3 million to the Intensive Care Unit, which is incredible. With the funding that Sal and Parker have donated, they've been able to fund a fellow position in the intensive care unit.
My role as an ICU fellow is to care for all the inpatients in the intensive care. The intensive care department looks after the sickest kids in the state. For us to be a fellow, we've had a lot of experience in paediatrics. I'm actually a general paediatrician, but I've recognised that even if I was working rurally, it's a skill to look after the critically ill children. So doing this year a fellowship, intensive care training is an extra at least 3 years onto general paediatric training to look after the sickest of the sick. I think it's amazing that a company could be so generous. It means a lot to me as a doctor that Sal and Parker gave me this position, because ultimately I can go out anywhere in New South Wales with the skills I've learned in this unit, and it will benefit other children.
In their first year, a fellow will be involved in the care of 1,200 children, so that's nearly 40,000 over their lifetime. And not only is it the direct care that they're involved in, it's actually the education of all of those professionals around them, whether they're nurses, doctors or allied health professionals. So this immediate investment now has this lasting legacy across many of the professions we need to ensure our ICU runs to excellent standards. You know, I recently heard the story of a young child. His name is Zachary, and he was in our ICU because he was suffering from swine flu, which is really life-threatening for him. And hearing his mum talk about the quality of the nurses and the doctors and indeed the fellows funded from Sal and Parker's amazing donations made such a difference to her about how she felt about the recovery of her child, and that he was getting the very, very best care. And happily, 4 months after Zachary was admitted to ICU, she was able to take him home.
When I arrived in Sydney Children's Hospital, I felt very anxious, nervous, wasn't sure what was going on. But as soon as I walked into the ICU doors, the staff were unbelievable. They were there to support me and explain the situation. There was a doctor there 24/7. It was a very scary but positive feeling because there were so many people watching him.
Hi, my name is Zachary and I'm 4, and thanks for helping me.
So thank you, Sal and Parker, for your many years of significant support for the ICU. You've made a positive and fundamental difference to the lives of children and their families. It is with great pleasure that we are able to place the Sal and Parker name above the ICU in recognition of the wonderful difference you have made in the lives of children and their families who need our hospital.